Cougar fans, it is time.
Touchdown! What a grab!
It's time to raise your colors, raise your voice, and join in on the Raucous Roundtable about your favorite team, the BYU Cougars.
20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
It's time to tailgate. Cougar Tailgate, where BYU sports fandom lives. And here's your host, Lauren McLean.
What's up, Cougar Nation? I'm Lauren McLean, and we're here to tailgate with you, doing what we do best, talking all things BYU Cougars. For today's roundtable discussion, we have basketball experts Jonny and Hema. Thanks for coming here with us, guys.
Kia ora.
Hey, Kete Pehekwe.
Yep, I don't know what that means.
Hey,
but
I'm going to have to add the basketball expert to my LinkedIn profile now. It's another thing, basketball
Big
extraordinaire.
basketball guys here.
which brings me to my first question. How much basketball experience do each of you actually have? Hema, what's your basketball experience?
Oh my gosh. Other than like Elders Cornball on Thursdays, not much. But I mean, I've been a fan for a long time. And, me and my dad, that was a fun pastime of ours is to watch the Jazz play, together. And so good memories. I love basketball, but I wouldn't say I'm a basketball guy.
Armchair
per se.
expert.
Yeah, for
as they
sure.
say. Johnny?
I'm waiting for my 10-day contract from Will Hardy because if the Jazz are committed to tanking, I will get them there. I'm actually a big basketball guy. It's funny saying in New Zealand, I played high school basketball, but I mean, that's nothing in comparison to high school basketball in the U.S. But we had a big crew of guys. We'd just play basketball at lunch. I remember wearing ankle weights every day to school so that I could learn to jump because there was another guy who was really good. His name was John Lawson, I think, and he was the big JL, and I was the little JL. And he would wear ankle weights, but he would wear pants so no one could see it. I'd wear short shorts, and they'd be over my socks. But, man, I had that 34-inch vertical. I can yam it.
Yeah, how did those work out for you, those ankle weights?
So I'm still waiting for them to show up with the calves, but I feel like the more dad years I put on my body, the bigger my calves will get. Because have you noticed every 45-year-old dad that's
Huge
never worked out
calves.
has
For sure.
giant calf muscles?
The New Balance shoes really bring out the calves.
They must be.
Yeah.
Maybe
Heel,
that's like,
slight heel
so
there.
Kawhi brings out the calves and the New Balance. I don't know. Maybe that's his marketing pitch. But I've been a big Jazz fan for as long as I can remember. We came to the States in the end of 2005 and beginning 2006. I just turned 15. That's going to age me now. But we watched the Jazz play the Clippers in what's the Lakers Center, the Staples Center.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that was fun with
Hey.
AK-47. I had my Walmart $25 jersey. Not $25 now due to inflation, but it was back then with the letters peeling
so that's
off.
a nice one.
Yeah, and they lost in overtime, and I remember crying leaving because basketball is life.
I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say after hearing how much expertise you have. I actually won the National Two-Ball Championship with the Utah Jazz.
Ooh.
Don't ask how old I was.
That's
It
a
was
big
in
deal.
1998, though. So Karl Malone, John Stockton, I got to meet those guys.
That's
So,
so
you
cool.
know, I have some slight
I
expertise.
wore 12 because of John
There
Stockton,
you
so
go.
I
He's
mean,
the man.
Okay.
All right, well, let's talk about BYU men's basketball a little bit. Number 18, BYU topped Denver 90-74 on Wednesday night. Career high 28 points from Jackson Robinson, including 8 threes, and a double-double from Noah Waterman with a career high of 20 points and 14 rebounds. The Cougars are now 9-1 with its best start since the 2010-11 season, a.k.a. Sweet 16, a.k.a. Jimmer Mania. Does that mean anything to you guys that this is the best start since when Jimmer was incredible and BYU went to the Sweet 16? Does that mean anything to you, Hema?
Oh, 100%. I think, the basketball team this season has been a pleasant surprise. And the fact that we're getting so much hype, we reached number 1 in the net at some point, which never happened. It's the hype is there, and it feels a little reminiscent of the Jimmer era for sure.
Yeah.
You think, I personally think I don't know when the ride's going to end. I'm going to enjoy it until it gets there.
Absolutely. Do you think it's a big deal, Johnny?
the ride has ended. We lost to Utah. Season's over. Winners spring ball.
Burn it down.
Spring
Cancel athletics. So we'll go to the women's basketball games from now. Oh, but they lost to Utah too. What?
Yep.
No, it's fun. I think the difference, though, granted, I was actually on my mission for Jimmer Mania, so I had no idea who Jimmer was until I came back and watched the highlights and was like, man, I missed that. And then I'd see him in the weight room and be like, I don't know you. I've actually never seen you play, but you're a legend, dude. So I'm still fanboy. But the difference is this year, like, you don't really have a gymmer. Maybe Jackson's stepping into that role when he's on, but you have a group of dudes that work really well together and are playing some phenomenal ball together. When they're on. And so let's enjoy the ride. They'll lose more games, but I think they can win some crucial ones and hopefully make a big run. Yeah,
and BYUtv had Jimmer on their pre- and post-game show last night, which was awesome. And with Jimmer in attendance Wednesday night, it seems like Jackson Robinson attempted to do his best Jimmer, shooting 8 from 16 from 3. Not even Jimmer had a game with 8 threes. So that's pretty spectacular.
Take that, Jimmer.
I hope someone said that to him last night. No, just kidding. And then a bounce-back game for Noah Waterman, who shot 0 for 8 against Utah last Saturday. Against Denver, he had his first career double-double, and he did it before halftime. So, man, there's that Utah curse, isn't it? But that's okay. The good thing is BYU basketball bounced back against Denver, and they're back on track like they were before. So our fan segment for this week is, what gets you most excited 10 games in about this BYU Hoops team? We had one of our producers, Tori Kimball, go around before the game and ask some random fans. All right, here's number 1.
I love this team. I love this game. I went to BYU many years ago, and I played basketball as a freshman.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's amazing.
That was amazing. This is the first year they opened this up when I played.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's so cool.
Well, that's cool.
What keeps you coming back?
Oh, I come back every time.
I love it.
I love basketball. I really do. I love it all.
Amazing. It's nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know who that guy was, but
he played as a freshman. Like in the Smith Fieldhouse or on the team?
Right. Wait, did he say the Marriott Center had opened?
It opened
when he was holy crap.
Freshman. Yeah.
Wait,
wow.
there was a trivia.
Legend.
There was a trivia question. Wasn't it in the 60s the Marriott Center opened?
Probably. So how old did that make this guy?
Well, we don't have to assume, but it would be probably close to 70 if that's right. Yeah.
What a legend. All right, here's another one.
I love winning. It's awesome.
Absolutely. It's been great.
Okay, so there is something to that. I love winning. We've been able to watch a ton of that with this team.
Yes.
Which it has not been consistently like that for years, right? You come to the Marriott Center. What are they? They're 10 or they're not 10-0. What are they in the Marriott Center right now? They're undefeated in the Marriott Center. Yeah. So you come to a BYU game, you get to watch a win. I feel like that's pretty significant.
I think, there's the saying in athletics, like, winning fixes everything. And it truly does. Like, the Utah loss was rough, and obviously we wish we had that back. But, like, coming back and destroying Denver, like, feels good. So we're back on the right track. Noah Waterman found his groove back. For me, it fixed everything, and I think I'm now excited instead of the doom and gloom from last week,
Cleon just said in my ear that the Marriott Center opened in 1971, by the way.
Oh, no, that's why I failed that trivia question. Let me bring down that gentleman's age.
Yeah, you
I apologize. I do apologize.
Sorry, sir.
We need him to send in some highlights, though. If he has some highlights from back in the day, let's see it.
I don't know where he'd get those. You know what I mean? They didn't record the games back in the 70s.
No, but I will say, like, when I am seasoned, I will absolutely still be playing pixelated YouTube videos. I'll be like, look at me! 100%. And punting will have been removed from football by then. And it's like, they'd be like, what is this archaic game that they're playing?
My brother won the baseball state championship his senior year of high school, and he has 5 boys, and they're all older now. Consistently plays that game for them. And they're like, oh my God.
You have
They're so sick when he still has the big grin, mouthing everything that he said in the video because he's watched it so many times. Heck yeah, you got to do that, Jonny. All right, here's another video.
Honestly, just seeing them play against Big 12 schools, it's just awesome, and it's a bigger stage, and yeah, I can't wait.
All right, and we got one more.
I'm excited to watch the 3 points.
Big basketball guy. Big basketball guy. He's like, I'm excited to watch the 1, 2, and 3 points.
I like the 3 points.
Yes. I do too.
We get the gist of what he's saying.
That's okay. We're welcoming all people to the Marriott Center.
Big basketball guy. We can tell. Oh, man.
That's just BYU, though. Like, let's be real. I love that. Come to BYU, get a great education, and learn about new sports.
Yeah. Like basketball and football. Yeah.
Oh, I'm crying. I'm here to watch the 3. Well, you're at the right place, buddy.
Yeah.
You will see a lot of 3 points. Okay, Hema, let's start with you. What gets you most excited 10 games in about watching this BYU Hoops team?
Man, it's just you saw it last night, you saw it against Denver. Is they move the ball really, really well all across. They play like 5 out or whatever, and so they're just passing the ball around the perimeter. That is so much fun to watch. It's kind of reminiscent of like the Jazz games from 2018, 19, whatever. How like they would pass the ball a lot, and then inevitably someone hits a 3-point shot because everyone can shoot on this team.
Right.
I think that's the most fun thing for me.
What about for you, Jonny?
Yeah, no, ditto. Everything about that. It is fun to kind of see this team that a lot of people had ruled out.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm still laughing about that guy.
I was like, dude, weird. Is my hair? I know my hair. I do have this like little fluff thing, but
I'm trying so hard.
I do like the three. I like the 3 point.
Yeah.
I like the 3 point. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Hey, we
clearly I needed a good laugh today.
He doesn't have basketball expert on his LinkedIn profile. I can promise you that.
He definitely did not wear ankle weights as a child.
He cannot still touch the backboard. I can promise you that. Yeah.
The thing I love about this team is I feel like they know who they are. And Mark Pope kind of mentioned this in his post game. He said after the game on Wednesday, "We trust us because us is pretty good." But I actually love that because when things start going wrong, they're not like, "Oh, call an audible. Let's hurry and switch things up. We got to change things." It's like, no, you just stay the course, and we know what we're gonna get because that's what they've done for 10 games.
That's the fans' job.
Yeah,
Change everything.
exactly.
Sure. Get rid of him. Let's have a new coach every game.
Exactly. That's what we're supposed to do. So that is one thing I love about the team. Very consistent. You know what you're going to get. That Utah game was a little bit of a slip up because they weren't doing what they did best. But then it was nice to see against Denver, they came right back to it. So they're a consistent team. They play as a team. They play with confidence, and they stick what they do best. And I'm excited to see how far that takes them. So let's talk about who is BYU's best 5, because they have a lot of very good bench players. The leading scorer, Jackson Robinson, comes off the bench. So fans have wondered if he should be in the starting lineup and why he isn't already. The regular starting 5 without Foose are Dallin Hall, Spencer Johnson, Trevin Knell, Noah Waterman, and Ali Khalifa. So Dallin Hall has been averaging 9 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game. BYU's best 3-point shooter, and obviously he's the ball handler. Old Man Johnson, one of the oldest players in college basketball, Spencer Johnson, very balanced stat line, 12 points per game, 5.7 boards per game, and 4.6 assists per game. So you got to have Spencer Johnson right. Then you have Trevin Knell. His shot over 40% from 3 and has been a great sharpshooter for the Cougars so far. Noah Waterman's improvement from last year has been fantastic. Had an amazing game against Denver. Ali Khalifa, a.k.a. the Egyptian magician, has opened up the offense since the Vegas showdown. He sees the court very, very well. I think he's been a great addition to the team. But then you got BYU's leading scorer is the first guy off the bench, Jackson Robinson, averaging 17 points per game, while only playing 23 minutes per game. He's also shooting 43% from 3 this year. You got Richie Saunders, who's been a great guy off the bench, and then Atiki. So who should be the starting 5, Hema, in your opinion? Should it change?
I honestly don't think it should change. I think it doesn't matter who's starting because, he's like you said, he's still Jackson Robinson, right? Is still playing 23 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And he's still scoring at a high clip. So, I mean, if it ain't broke, why would you fix it? Yeah. I think the distribution of like the shots and like the points game to game vary slightly. Obviously, Jackson Robinson is one of the more consistent. So is Spencer Johnson. And it's kind of nice to have them both on one on the starting lineup and the other off the bench. Like you still have those people that can get buckets even if your second unit's out there.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't think it matters like who starts. Like starting gets you. It's just in name only, right? That recognition in name only. Like it doesn't really matter, especially if you're still producing, you're still getting your minutes like Jackson Robinson is. I don't think it matters.
What do you think, Jonny?
Us Polynesians think alike.
Let's go.
Yes.
Wow. You may not look alike, but you think alike. Okay.
Yeah, I can't claim it, but I was born in Polynesia. Kia ora. No, I do think, like, you don't want to change the boat too much, right? Does Jackson deserve to start? The answer is probably yes, right? Does he care to start? That also might be a good question. If he does, then maybe you want to start him, right, to kind of keep him happy. But I think right now, just the consistency that we're seeing and having him come off the bench and be that sixth man is important. The challenge that I would have to that would be, is it important to give him the opportunity to prove to the NBA scouts or the pro scouts that he does deserve to be at that level and not just be, oh, you were a great six man and arguably the best player on the team, but you came off the bench.
Right.
Is that going to impact his future opportunity? And if that does, that is something that I think the coaches are aware of, because the coaches are not just focused on them right now, but they're also saying, how can we set these guys up for the future? Because they care about them, right? It's not just Coach Pope, but it's also Coach Sataki. How can we get these guys in the limelight as much as possible so that they can continue to represent BYU after they're done playing at the college level?
And that's what's hard for me. That's what really is hard for me. I think he's a phenomenal player. Can he make it the next level? That's extremely hard to do with basketball specifically. But I mean, I don't know. He's a senior and he's the best scorer on the team. In my opinion, I think he needs to start. And I don't know. Maybe bring Spencer Johnson off the bench. Maybe you switch back and forth, or Trevin Knell. I don't know. But then you are not having the consistency that's been so successful throughout these 10 games, right? If you start changing that, I don't know how much it would change, but I feel like, I know when people ask him, oh, how do you feel that you're not starting? And he gives you a very diplomatic answer, and he's obviously going to say the right things to the media, but as athletes, you two know you want to start. He wants to start. Of course he wants to start. And it is just for this prestige of saying, I'm a starter. And you get your name called in the Marriott Center. You get, the curtains drop, and it's the fans cheering for you. It's just...
That'd be so fun.
Right?
I will say I had one start at BYU, and I didn't play. So starting in my position actually didn't mean anything because I didn't hold, and we played against Wagner, and we never punted. So I was like, starting at punter. So I was like... Count it. It's a start, baby.
Yes,
Let's go. I ran out on the field. But no, basketball, I do think that, I think Coach Pope's aware, and I think if things are, but I do think it has to be if we make a change, it has to be a change going forward. It's not like we're going to flip-flop whoever has a good practice.
Yeah.
Let's have like a free throw shootout every practice to see who gets a start. I think it has to be a deliberate change, and I don't think we've seen enough yet. Even though Trevin's been struggling, I don't think we've seen enough to necessarily make a change at the guard position there permanently yet.
Yes.
Could it happen? Yes. I don't think it's right to make the move now.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the coach. And what I want to point out is what a great problem to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is what you want. You want to have that much depth and that much parity amongst your team that you're like, man, who are we going to start?
Right, but you also want to make sure if you have good recruits, they're not like, if I go and be the best player, am I going to be off the bench?
I know. See?
So there's so much dynamic. But then you can just throw money at them now, so it's great.
Yeah.
Good luck, Coach Pope. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but coming up, it's buy or sell time with BYU Men's Hoops, and we'll chat the national buzz surrounding Cougs in the news. This is Cougar Tailgate. Welcome back to Cougar Tailgate. I'm Lauren McLean. Here with me is Jonny Linehan and Hema. It's time for buy and sell with the BYU men's basketball team, starting with this. Jackson Robinson will make an all Big 12 team this season. He currently ranks 9th in scoring in the Big 12. He's also leading the Big 12 in three-point percentage. Are you buying it or selling it, Hema?
Oh, I'm buying it. Give me all that delicious Jackson Robinson stock.
You think he's going to be on an all Big 12 team?
I think so. I mean, the way he's playing right now.
Right.
We'll the unknown is, can we compete in conference play for the entire season?
Yeah.
Which we've never had, difficult schedule like this. But I think I'm buying it right now.
Okay. Well, I love it. Jonny, buy or sell?
Yeah, I have to buy it right now. Explain this for me, though. Are there three, all Big 12 teams? You have, your first, second, and third, and then maybe your honorable. But that's what's actually fun about the Big 12. Before, it was the independent, all independents. And I was a 3-time independent first-team punter. I was it's because I'm the only one. Or I'm take that Notre Dame punter. Yes. No, so it actually means a lot now. I'm buying it, though. If he can continue to play as he's playing, absolutely. Yeah.
See, I have a hard time.
What did you eat this morning, Lauren?
I don't even know. French toast.
You don't like the
Really good,
three?
actually.
You don't like the three like
I
that
don't
guy?
like the 3.
I love the 3, and I love Jackson Robinson. So for context, the Big 12, they have 7 teams that have 1 loss or left. I think they're 11 with 2 or fewer losses, and then UCF has 3. That's almost the entire conference, by the way. That's basically on the exact same level as BYU right now. That's scary, scary, scary. That's some very, very good, talented players, the best in the country, and you're throwing Jackson Robinson in there. And I'm not saying maybe he is one of the best players in the country. I don't know. So that's why. Is it rude to sell? I'm sorry, Jackson.
No,
only until
very smart.
Conference play. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how he does in the conference.
Stock is high, you buy high and you sell low. Wait, that's what I do. You buy low and you sell high.
Yeah, you're confusing me. All I know is I love Jackson Robinson, but I also know that there are some incredibly talented teams and players in the Big 12. So let's see kind of how BYU starts doing there. All right, number 2, Ali Khalifa should start even when Foose is healthy. He only has 2 turnovers on the season so far. He's currently averaging nearly 4 assists per game. He opens the offense up in a new way that forces the defense on their toes. So, Jonny, do you think he should start even when Foose is healthy?
No, I'll sell this, but he's incredible.
Yeah.
Like 2 turnovers with some of the passes as well that he's getting his assists with. Those are dimes.
Yeah.
Those
He's
are
amazing.
dimes. He has such a great touch, but man, Foose, I think, offers that presence. BYU's been crashing the boards like I've never seen before this year. That's actually the only reason I think they were in the Utah game, because they were not shooting well at all, but they were crashing the boards. But I think that's Foose's spot. I think when he comes back, it's his spot. But that's close now. It's big competition.
Yeah. What do you think, Hema?
Yeah, I'm selling it as well. I mean, I love Ali, but I just miss that physical down low presence.
Yep.
That you can throw it in there and get like an almost guaranteed bucket from someone physical down low. I think we just missed that, and it'd be nice for BYU to come out and punch a team in the mouth at the beginning with a guy like Foose, and then bring the second
guy
unit
that
on.
might do that.
Too soon?
Too soon?
but like having Ali come off the bench and being able to distribute would be kind of nice. Have a change in pace for the 2 units.
Oh, I love you, Tiki. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it too. Even for the eye test, Foose is a beast, man, and he's got hops. His wingspan is just incredible. I love watching him play, and he does kind of have a more intimidating presence. I think Ali Khalifa is a little more smooth in how he operates underneath. But I like that Foose is a force to be reckoned with. So I agree with you guys. I think it's his spot when he comes back. But it's how awesome. Again, what a great problem to have.
Great surprise.
Yes,
he's been
fantastic.
Awesome.
All right, the next one is BYU finishes the season in the top 25. They're currently ranked 18th in the country. If they finish 500 in the Big 12, they'll probably be in the top 25. They're ranked 8th in Ken Palm and ranked 3rd in the net. Hema, what do you think? They're going to be ranked in the top 25 at the end of the season. Buy or sell?
I'm that's a tough question. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna buy that.
Okay.
Because I think there's something to be said with the way the team has faced adversity in this preseason, especially preseason ranking 13th, and now they're just they're killing it. I think they've taken that chip on their shoulder and they're doing something with it. I think the new additions to the team have gelled rather quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go into conference play and they do very well.
Yeah.
Much better than we all expected.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you think, Jonny?
Man, I'm going to have Siri flip a coin on this one. It really is. I could go either way. I could argue either way, which is fun. This is a great question. I'll sell this, though. I don't think they end up in the top 25. The only data point I have is that the good news is, winning fixes everything. Yes, absolutely. The losing against teams you should have won ruins everything.
Yeah.
I don't losing against teams that are competitive. I don't think actually fans obviously want to win every game.
Yeah.
But the Utah loss, I think, is the only data point we have where it's a team that was really that up in the air. Oh, they're not favored. Mind you, they've been smacking every team they've been favored against. But I do think we're going to struggle against some of these teams where it is more of a flip of the coin. And even though I think we outperform the preseason Big 12 expectations, I mean, how couldn't you now?
Right.
I think it's still going to be tough. That's not to say we don't make the tournament. I just think we're going to be more of a Cinderella in the tournament as opposed to having a higher ranking.
Yeah, I think so too. And we talked about this before. BYU, the Utah game was BYU's only true road test of the season so far. And so we really don't know what BYU is going to do in these hostile environments. So it's hard. And like, man, just incredible. Not even just like regular hostile environments, like the best in the country.
Sure. It's so
right?
fun.
I know,
play.
it's amazing. Like, what a cool opportunity for BYU. Like, so much fun this season, but it is a difficult road. I'm going to buy it just because I'm with him. I'm like, right now at this point, I want to be positive. I'm going to buy it. Even if they go 500 in the Big 12, they're going to be ranked in the top 25 because there are that many good teams.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. All right, the last one is BYU versus Houston will be the most anticipated matchup at the Marriott Center since Gonzaga 2020. Houston is currently first in Ken Palm and fourth in the AP poll. BYU does not play Kansas at home. The other big home games are Texas and Baylor. But Houston is going to be a huge one in the Marriott Center. Do you guys think this is the most anticipated matchup since Gonzaga 2020? Hema?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of the stories going into it, like new Big 12 members. I think this is the biggest game since that Gonzaga game for sure.
Jonny?
Yeah, it is. I think so. Are we going to let the fans camp out? Are they allowed to camp out? I think if they're not allowed to camp outside the Marriott, they should camp outside the Marriott hotel that the other team will be staying in. How intimidating would that be? Hey, welcome to Provo. Here's 5,000 white people. We will be yelling at you because we like the three, and the sport that we've found out this year is we really like it.
We won't be swearing. We'll be like what Keaton Slova said. We'll be like, you guys stink. Like that sort of trash talk.
The sport that we found out about this year.
And we're
learning
the
so
three.
much about it.
We hope you don't hit your threes.
I hope that kid does not listen to this segment of Cougar Tailgate.
I would, if I was a betting man, I think there's actually a safe chance he doesn't listen to this sport.
He's a big sports talk radio guy.
All right, let's move on to Cougs in the NFL. Number 1, Zach Wilson throws for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions against the Houston Texans after being benched for 3 weeks. There was controversy a couple weeks ago claiming that Zach Wilson was reluctant about being the starting quarterback. He came out with nothing to lose and looked phenomenal, and the Jets have a difficult matchup against the Dolphins on Sunday. We'll see if Zach can continue the positive trend. If Zach were to leave New York, Jonny, where would you like to see him go?
Oh, man, I don't care about the NFL. I care about Zach, though.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of BYU fans would love to see him at the 49ers. There's no way
Yep,
no way that's a good landing spot with Brock Purdy. Like,
Yeah.
there's just no way that that's going to happen. So, I actually don't know. Just get him out of New York.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, for Zach, I know BYU fans, we put on our goggles and we have a hard time being critical of our guys. Zach needs to continue to play like he played. We can't just be like, see, the Jets were overreacting.
Yep.
He needs to string it together and do it again. Now, he is in a really tough situation, but if he can continue to put back-to-back games, and again, it's not even like doing much. It's just doing more than the Jets think, right?
Yes.
Like, that first half was great for me. It was punt, 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 punt. I don't think that's ever happened before. And then he came out and lit it up third quarter, took him to a win, right? But he just needs to do it again.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Hema?
Let me just first say, #free Zach Wilson. He
Yes.
needs literally anywhere. I think he could go anywhere. I would love to see him like on the Rams or something. He needs to go somewhere where he can still learn behind a vet that does really well. And so I don't really care where he goes, but I do think he needs to get out of New York.
Yeah.
So
Maybe the Giants?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Let's not have him go there. I'm with Jonny. It's so funny being on Twitter. Twitter is such a horrible and wonderful place, right? Probably more horrible than wonderful.
Oh, it's horribly
But
beautiful.
just even the overreactions of Jet fans and even the media about Zach Wilson, like, see, you guys were so
worst
rude to
fans
him.
ever, by the way.
You guys were
Jets
awful
fans.
to him. I'm with Jonny where I'm like, well, let's see if he can keep this going. You know, like, let's see if it really was just the offensive line or a terrible offensive coordinator that wasn't calling plays for Zach Wilson. If he can be consistent with it for a few more games, then I'm going to be like, all right, yeah, get him out of there, get him in a better situation, and see what he can do. All right, number 2, Puka Nacua had another impressive game against the Ravens with 8 receptions, 84 yards, And it's not a fluke. Puka is currently 5th in receiving yards in the NFL. He has over 1,100 yards already and is projected to finish around 1,400 receiving yards. Has there ever been a more impressive BYU rookie in the NFL that either of you can think about? Fred Warner was pretty good. He had 124 total tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. But I don't think, in my recent memory, I don't think there's been another impressive rookie like Puka Nacua.
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think of somebody.
Austin Collie had 90 receptions, 676 receiving yards his rookie season.
But still, he wasn't like getting fed the way like Puka's getting fed the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say no. I mean, Puka's different. Like all it took was just like a quarterback to trust him.
Yep.
And him to prove that he can catch everything. And that's all it really took. And now look at him. So I think, I don't think there's been a.
Was that Tyler Algier? Was that his first year last year? Because I think Puka's been better, but I think Tyler had a phenomenal first year, if that was his first year.
Tyler's was, 21 draft, I think is what he was. So
it's been
maybe he's ineligible. I'm trying to think because, I mean, similar to the guy liking the 3, I've only liked football for 10 years. So I don't know anything before that. Austin Collie, I know the name. Never saw him play.
Yeah.
But Puka's been amazing. And he's doing it without gloves in the rain. Like, to put it in context, if you drop a football with gloves on, like, your hands don't work.
Yeah.
Like, those gloves are so sticky. Maybe he took them off in the rain, but, man, he's been so good. And such a humble kid. I love the Nacuas. And what a great person, and you see great things happen to great people, but he's been put in a great situation, right?
Yeah.
And was kind of fortunate with Kupp being out, but being able to learn from somebody like Cooper Kupp, who's just a Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah.
It's like, what a great spot for him to be in.
And I think it's just incredible that we can even talk about these different rookies that have been standouts from BYU. These names like Zach Wilson, Tyler Algier, Puka Nacua, Fred Warner. They all had standout rookie seasons, and they all played for BYU recently. I think that's huge. That's got to be, come on, coaches. I know they're using that, right? They're using that as bait to get some good recruits here. All right, you guys are incredible. Thank you for coming on with me today. That does it for us today. Thanks again to Jonny Linehan and Hema for coming on the show with me. Carter Bond and Tori Kimball helped produce this episode with senior producer Terry South. You can join the Cougar Tailgate wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, or on BYURadio.org. Cougar Tailgate is a production of BYU Radio.